What's good, y'all? It's your boy Cornell Westside here with another edition of the Wednesday Pullpit, where we go over what I currently have waiting for me in my local comic book shop to pick up, what I got on what I call my spec list. That's all the new number ones and things that I've heard about in Zeitgeist that I might pick up. And we have the in the trade sections where we go over what we have picking up in the trades. I haven't picked up a lot of trades lately, but I still am going to keep the section for now because there's always something interesting that I might pick up. But I've been going over budget with the other sections, so that's not something I leave up for choice now. It's pretty much I decide if I'm going to do that or not, and I figure it out in this last couple weeks. It ain't been happening. I've been getting all the single issues, and if anything, I just read anything that I need, anything else on the apps, so that being either Infinite Comics, I'm at DC Infinite, Global Comics, or Hoopla, which is a free site if you're in LA through the public library, and also Marvel Unlimited. So they've been saving my pockets as of lately. So with that said, let's go ahead and get into the segment, starting off with top of the list. All right, first off the top of the list, we have Absolute Flash number 15. Now, I say it's at the top of my list, but Absolute Flash has been kind of mundane. I did like the first like 6 or 7 issues because it was a little bit of a twist. The same, but twist on the story of Wally West. Me personally, I go back and forth with who my favorite Flash is, but I'm not gonna lie. As of lately, it's been Barry Allen. I think it's because of the Flash TV show, even though how controversial that show was. But you know, I grew up watching Wally West on Justice League Unlimited and all that. So yeah, my loyalty goes back and forth. But Barry's not around in this one, and Wally is the main Flash. But after the Rogues kind of storyline that happened in the beginning, when his father was going through what he was going through and he was looking for him, still looking for him, it kind of died down for me. It kind of became just like a depressed Flash. And honestly, I like my Flash cracking jokes, running around, just being funny, being a speedster. That's how speedsters are to me. A serious speedster just, I don't know, just needs to be a villain, I guess. Not a hero. But in the last one especially, Jeff Lemire is a great writer, by the way. Shout out to him and the artist team and everything on that. But in the last issue, they introduced Mirror Master, and Mirror Master could be a cool villain depending on how you do him. But this new Mirror Master, I think his first name is Sam in this one. I forgot his last name. I forgot his name in this one. But yeah, getting back into it. I guess he's being trapped by whoever the Thawne character, the woman Thawne character in this one, who's supposed to be Eobard Thawne, but obviously it's not. I guess he's being held captive by her somehow, but their Mirror Masters were attacking the actual Mirror Master in the last one. And he was trying to get Wally to help him. And in exchange, he was going to take Wally back to the moment where his father disappeared. We'll see how that works in this next one, but I know at the end the splash page showed that there's two, of course. You know, when you go into the mirror universe, there's always usually a reflection of yourself, and then usually an evil reflection. And I'm like, we kind of see that a lot with Mirror Master. It's kind of like the thing that usually happens with Mirror Master or mirror worlds in general and whatnot. I actually don't know if we've seen that in Mirror Master in the main continuity, I'm pretty sure, but we have. But nonetheless, no, we did in the Flash TV show, and I hated that storyline. That's what made me stop watching that show. So yeah, Mirror Master, yeah, we have a unique relationship. But nonetheless, I've been reading it. It's not bad. It's been solid. It's been solid 5 out of 10. I'm not gonna lie. That sounds terrible, but it's been what it's been. It's been good enough to stay on the list. But to be honest, it's, you know, I think they're gonna pick up. I just want to see more Grodd. Grodd is different in this universe. Gorilla Grodd is my favorite Flash villain in the main continuity, but Grodd, I don't think, as right now, he's not a villain. He could be a villain based upon when he met his daddy, and he was like, humans are not good, but I don't think he's gonna go against Wally. I still have to say, I am enjoying the series, but I mean, it's been okay. It's gonna stay on the list, it's gonna be there. Absolute Flash, I've been talking about it a little bit too long because we got a lot of books to get through for this week. So moving on to the next at the top of my list. This usually hasn't been at the top of my list, but now it is here. NightWing number 138. Ever since who's the artist team on this one? Dennis Cowan has been drawing it, but Dan Waters, not Dan Waters. Who's Tate Brumble. I feel like it was somebody else, but before that. But nonetheless, they've been doing their thing. I've been reading it since 136 when Dennis Cowan took over on the drawing. First of all, he's been doing an amazing job. His textures, the crazy thing, the drawing actually looks like an evolved version of his original Milestone sketches for Static and whatnot, which makes sense because, you know, he's the one that drew that, and it's been umpteen years, 30-some years later, so duh, it would be that, an evolution of that. But like, I don't know if it's the 90s style in general or his style, but it's been a few, because I've been seeing it in the Matt Fraction Batman as well. I forgot who's artist on that, but like the style, the texture of the colors, I don't know, it's been popping, and it's been going crazy with that. But so shout out to Dennis Cowan and the artists. Y'all been showing me some different ways to make color pop and to give texture to things as I've been trying to get my project off the ground. So shout out to y'all again. But going back into it, this story has been dope. The last 2 issues. The first one was on the Bloodhaven Bridge. The last one involved Batman. It kind of gave us more of the distinction between how Dick and I always laugh, sorry, I managed, and Bruce, how they operate. Bruce came to Gotham, he came to Bloodhaven, and it was kind of like a little bit of dispute, but right now I know they're dealing with a little bit of some fantastical stuff, metaphysical stuff. I can't remember exact details of how it ended, but I know Batman was there, so I've been excited. I'm locked in on this one. It's staying on the list. I know it's it started off as a spec, but it's solidly on the list now. Which brings on to another one who started off on the spec list, and NightWing is in this one too, New Titans. I didn't know how long New Titans was going to be on the list. I thought that, on my pull list, I thought it was going to be these last two episodes. Keep doing that. Last 2 issues, and then it was going to drop by now. But bringing in a new team. But this is probably I say this, but don't quote me on this, but I feel like this is the most cause and effect we've seen this book has the most cause and effect since all the All-In era has started post DC, I'm about to say post-crisis, post DC KO. A lot of those books, I mean, you have, you know, in the Green Lantern Corps, Guy is the all-sight, so he's been seeing things. That sounded funny. But other than that, I feel like no book, and of course I'm thinking through thousands of books right now, so please forgive me, put in the comments if I'm wrong, that I feel like this one and that one, New Titans and Green Lantern Corps, have the biggest after effects from the DC KO. And of course Superman is gone, so yeah, all the Superman books, Reign of Superboy, that's the #1, he's gone, so that. But I really don't feel like there's a lot of consequences that's happened from DC KO in a lot of the books. But again, going back to this is the biggest one because Cyborg has been split. So now we got Vic Stone and we got Cyborg. And Cyborg seems like he's a villain. He's been keeping the team in a loop. That's when we started out in the first one. I think you heard me talk about coffee, but he kept the team in a perpetual loop, and then the New Titans had to come and save them from that loop, and then you find out that Cyborg was actually the one who kept them all together in this loop. So now they're trying to figure out what's going on with that. So should be interesting. I can see my boy Cyborg take center stage. But yeah, going on to the next one I have on the list will be Racer X. Number 6? No, it's number 7. No, yeah, it's number 7 because I finally got through the trade paperback for this one, but unfortunately it only had 1 through 4. And I didn't have issue 5. If I'd known that it didn't have issue 5, I would have bought issue 5. Not that I was even able to find it on really, but I would have found the back issue somewhere or read it on Global Comics or something like that, and then got through issue 7. So I'm gonna do that before today is over. Today is either Tuesday or Wednesday, depending on when I post it, but I should have it. I'll have it done by the time I review issue 7. So yeah, I am on issue 4 as of right now, and I love this universe. I haven't even read Speed Racer yet, and this is a knockoff, spin-off of Speed Racer, and I haven't read Speed Racer because that book has not gotten to me, but it will get to me. Isaac, I promise you I'm gonna read that book for you. Anyway, and I'm spread to your whole family and everything. Long story. Anyway, I think I said it on the channel. The only reason I got into Speed Racer was because one of my best friends passed away, and his father passed away within 3 months of each other. Crazy. It's been a crazy year. And both of them, father and son, they both love Speed Racer. So I'm gonna get to that universe. I promise. If I don't care if I have to move rain, sun, and God, I'm gonna get that book. I think that's the reason why it's been so elusive to me. But getting back into Racer X. Now this story alone, you don't have to read Speed Racer to read this one. I never watched the show back in the day, but I've heard that Racer X was on the show, but there was never an explanation for why he would help Speed Racer during the races. I will spare you on that right now because, I mean, it is very important to why that, but I mean, it's not like, ooh, you can't read the book knowing that, but they have a very close relationship. Speed Racer doesn't know this, but he helps them during the races in order to, because everybody's gunning for him. And this dude is just smooth as eggs and everything. He gets out of every situation you can find, and again, he helps Speed get through everything. So I've been enjoying it so far. He even gave him like his registration fee and everything. And Speed is like, why are you helping me, man? He's like, don't worry about it, man. Hermano. Oops. Going off to a Speed Racer number 7. Yeah, next up on the top of the list, okay, so my next stuff is the top of the list, but it's like the bottom of the top of the list. So bottom that it might be dropped. Actually, no. We're gonna start with Wonder Woman number 35 because that's not there yet. I liked the last issue. I liked the dialogue of the matriarch. Do I know everything exactly? Do I feel like it was necessary in that last issue? No. Mainly because I just hopped in. There could have been a whole lot of action that happened before all of this and whatnot, and this could have been like the lower period and whatnot to get you prepared for the whole matriarch and everything. But yeah, I ain't read that other stuff, so I need some more action. They basically did a whole like White House interview with the matriarch, and I'm like, okay, cool. It's cool to get a backstory, but I just needed a little bit more. I needed my action mathematics going on there. Basically, that's to say there's a kind of a mathematical formula on how you balance the action to storytelling and everything in comic books, whatever. But I needed a little bit more action in that one. You could throw out the formula for that one, but. Yeah, Wonder Woman 35. I'm still reading it because I think I watched the interview yesterday, and Stephanie Williams is going to be taking over, not taking over, but she's going to be writing, I think, 2 issues, and it was 35, I think 37, number 38 or something like that. Don't quote me on what actually would be, but I think within the next 2 issues, she'll be putting out writing a issue. So shout out to the Eisner, I'm about to say award winner. We're going to claim you as an award winner, but Eisner Award nominee. That's what I was looking for, awardee, a nominee, my Chicago sister. But no, honestly, if you have not read Roots of Madness, not Roots of Madness, Roots of Madness, you know, that's how we say in Chicago, and she's Chicagoan, and Temporal, please go read those. Those are 2 very different books, by the way, but a good time for each of them. Horror more so for Roots of Madness, and Temporal is more of a feel-good family, get them out there, bang, bang. I don't know why I just said bang, bang, but yeah, type of story. But getting back into this, that was Wonder Woman number 35, and Stephanie Williams will be writing the next couple. But shout out to Tom King and the team on this one. Moving on, these are more so Wolverine number 4. I have read Wolverine 1. I reread, sorry, I cannot say R's and W's together. I reread, those are 2 R's, by the way, reread that book. I feel like I've read Wolverine, so when I bought number 1, I read number 1, and then the next week I'm like, I can't remember what happened number 1, so I read number 1 again and then read number 2. The next week I read number 1, number 2 because I couldn't remember that, and then number 3. Now I can't remember what happened. Well, I remember number 1, as I just said, I remember the tracker came. There's a mutant who's a tracker. She came and she's helping Logan do something. There was some exchange on Logan and the exchange. We're at the bar, and he's like, "Bub, don't let her pay for my drink," and a bunch of stuff. I don't know. I'm not even saying that this is it just haven't been memorable for me. I'm just gonna be honest. And it probably just me, but because the book ain't bad. I literally just can never remember what is happening in this book. Maybe it's because I'm trying to put this one, Captain America, and all the Armageddon stuff all in the one. First of all, Captain America dropped about four, there go my country accent again. Dropped 4 books back to back, it felt like, man. And I couldn't keep up. I finally got to number 6. I got through the David Colton storyline, which reminded me a lot of U.S. Soldier. When the U.S. Agent storyline and the U.S. Soldier Disney Plus show. But yeah, I finally got through that one, and I got another 6 issues to get of that, so I can catch up on that because of all they dropped with that and with this one and all the other stuff. And then by June, which next month, I got to remember all that stuff. I don't know. I feel like Marvel has just been saying, remember us, put all this stuff together, and it's like, you ain't really got to do all that. Getting off point, yeah, I don't know. It's just, I cannot remember the series. So I know what I'm gonna do again. I'm gonna go read 1, 2, and 3, and then I'm having 4, and I'm probably gonna enjoy it because I haven't, when I was reading it, I haven't complained about it. I mean, there's plenty of Marvel books that I've been enjoying. Iron Man is probably my favorite one so far, I think. Yeah, but yeah, getting them back to that Wolverine number 4, it will be out and for you to buy. Then sticking into Marvel, another book that's been okay to me, X-Men United number 3. I feel like I've been reading more X-Men back issues, whether it been from Uncanny X-Men or Uncanny X-Men, regular X-Men, Giant Size X-Men. So many X-Men series, I feel like. But whatever the current one, I know it's Uncanny X-Men and then just regular X-Men. And then, you know, Cyclops and all that. I've been enjoying those runs. I need to read Rogue. I thought I was gonna mess myself up with that one. But I want to get back against Rogue. But I mean, Uncanny X-Men, I think, yeah, Uncanny X-Men is where they're in New Orleans, and then X-Men is when Cyclops, they're over in Alaska, I think. So they've been doing the thing. You know, it's not, the old X-Men is definitely better than the current new stuff, I have to say, without a doubt. So like, the more I'm reading of the old stuff, it's kind of like this new stuff. But you know, I want to stay current with everything, and X-Men is just gonna be that staple that I always read. I'm never gonna give up on X-Men, even though some of these solo issues have been interesting, to say the least. But I think, oh no, we got a few more. Speaking of X-Men, let's stay in X-Men. We have Moonstar number 3. To be honest, I'm holding on to this one just because I want to. It hasn't been bad. It hasn't necessarily been exciting. Moonstar, if you don't know who Moonstar is, I doubt if y'all watched this movie. And if you didn't watch this movie, I don't recommend going watching it. New Mutants, I think that terrible Fox movie that came out, she was in it. She was the main villain, technically speaking, because her power went out of whack and was knocking off the New Mutants. But yeah, if you want to see Moonstar in the actual movie, you can go watch that. Again, I do not recommend it, but yes, it's available for you. But Moonstar's been cool. She was a Valkyrie. A lot of stuff happened. They're making references to a lot of stuff that's been in the past. Not as much as Storm, because Storm, boy, you got to do homework to read that one. I swear, it was 1 page in the last Storm issue. It had Mortal Thor, X-Men number 52. It had like at least 20 references in 2 pages, and I was like, okay, I don't care no more, but I'm just gonna read this. And that's what Storm met her child or whatever. So it makes sense because that happened a while ago, but nonetheless, it had too much homework in this one. This one has about 1/3 of that. And basically, I think you have to read just like Immortal, Thor, and just like one other book in order to know what's going on here. And I went back and read those, so to figure out what's going on here. Don't quote me on the Immortal Thor. I don't know why it keeps coming out, but I think that, no, she's a Valkyrie, so that is one. Yeah, so this has been cool. It's been solid. To support my Latina X-Men superheroes. It's only a 6 issue series, so I'm gonna pick all of them up. I like the variant copies. They give me real Native American vibes, you know, my Native American people. Yeah, that's it for this one. Can't really tell you anything other than that. The next one has been, I picked this up as a speculation, and I was greatly surprised that I liked the first issue. Second issue, not so much. It seemed like it took everything in the first issue and said, you know what, forget all that. Because I thought it was going to be a whole Lobo #3 is what I'm talking about. I guess I should say that first. But the first issue looks like it was a play on what was going on in the real world. There goes that RW right there. Real world, where it was talking about action hero. Now I can't talk at all. Action heroes, where it's saying and anti-heroes, and just giving like how lazy writing has been for a lot of those movies and whatnot. And then this next one, it got really confusing because it undid a lot of that funny stuff that I enjoyed in the first one. So I don't know. Plus he got fired from that show, so it's like, okay, they have to do a whole nother thing. But I don't know what's going to be happening in this next one. Depending on what happens in this one, we'll see if it stays on the list. I'll probably get this about 2 more issues to see what happens before we see if it stays on the list or not. Not to say that it's been bad or anything. I've been enjoying it. It's been kind of just like a moment, but the last one, it just wasn't that. But not to say #3 might not be, will be. So yeah. Next on the list is one that I have just been hopping into. I missed the Death Spiral and the Torn, whatever storylines, but the Amazing Spider-Man #29. They have a new villain in this one. I think his name is Spores? Something like that. All I know is he's a mushroom villain. And it's been interesting because I'm working on a mushroom villain right now. I mean, his name is not, it's not really, right now his name is Shrooms, but he has from what I seen in the last issue for Amazing Spider-Man, they have a completely different power set and motivation to do anything in life, so they would never it would never be a confusion of, oh, he read that and he got the idea from that, nonetheless. Yeah, I don't really know too much about the Amazing Spider-Man because I just popped into it. So, yeah, Amazing Spider-Man #29. I also feel like 28 just came out last week or the year before that. Seeing what's happening with Cap probably did, so you never know. But that's all I have for my top or the mid of the bottom of the list, which usually is just the top of the list. Next up, we're going to have the spec list. Okay, no, I messed up. Before we get to the spec list, I left a couple books off. I left Batwoman #3 off. Batwoman I finally have heard, if you did not read Batman Elegy, which is can be picked up in the compacts, then you probably will not know what's going on with this one. So before I read this one, I might go back and read Batman Elegy so I can know what's going on. But right now, in the last one, I think that they're Batwoman either lost the doggone mind or it's not a clone or somebody's wearing her costume. That's all I'm gonna say about that one. Could even be her sister, not Kate. Her name's Kate. Annie. No, I forgot her sister's name, but she's after the Wizard of Oz. I don't know. I'm embarrassing myself, but I forgot her sister's name. Y'all know her sister's name. If you don't read the comic book, you don't know her name. But if you read the comic book, you know her name. Moving on to what I now have in my spec list. These two I'm picking up basically just upon the creator team. But the first one I got is Odin, #1. Written by James Tynion the Fourth. Yeah, that's the fourth because I have before V. And then Letizia Kananichi, I don't know if that's how you say her name, but all I know is that she was just an artist on Roots of Madness with Stephanie Williams, and I love the way that was drawn. And looking at the cover art, I'm like, it should be in that same vein. I loved it. Kind of gave me, if you ever watched Hey Arnold, this is going to be a very, very specific reference, but if you ever watched Hey Arnold, there was a specific episode where Phoebe won the poetry competition, and she had a Emily Dickinson statue. Go YouTube it after and come back here. And if you look at the way that that's made and how the whole episode and the feeling of that, that's what Letizia, however you say her name, that's the feeling that she gives me of Emily Dickinson in that episode of Hey Arnold. So she gives me nostalgia vibes somehow, is what I'm trying to say. So I'm digging her artwork. pretty much. It could have been also that I love that story and everything is went with it, but I think she's very, very horror based. And then going to James Tynion the fourth, that man has got on the hardest horror tip. I mean, if y'all ain't reading Exquisite Corpses, I think the finale is going to be coming up next week. Read it. And I say to read it because it's a culmination event. It's pretty much like a battle royale. It's like the playoffs, where it's like it was 13 killers and like they all came together. All the killers are dead except for 2 now. They down to the final 2 with a big twist. He writing that joint, y'all. He writing that joint. If you like horror books, read that joint. James Tiberius Tynion the fourth. He got it on the horror tip. Odin. But this one, I'm reading the description because this seems very interesting, and I'm only reading it because he wrote it. Although, I don't know. Green Room reads Midsummer in James Tynion most relentless horror story yet. Adela will do anything for the perfect story, including going undercover with neo-Nazi punks headed for the frozen forests of Norway under the misguided belief that they can summon Odin and achieve their promised white destiny. But what awaits them in the woods is far older and stranger than any of them can comprehend, and no God can answer their prayers for help. No God can answer their prayers for help. Yeah, that's it. Yeah, neo-Nazis and horror and twist. I don't know how this gonna go, but it can go one way or it can go the other. But don't do too much, James, in this one. But I'm gonna read it and I'm gonna tell y'all how it went. I'm gonna tell you if you did too much, if you did too just this no. But this next one is also in the horror vein, and it's from Image Comics, and this one is called Of Earth. This one's written by Chris Coden, and art is by Charlie Alladard. Let's see, I think he's from Walking Dead, if I'm not mistaken, and I'm actually not sure what Chris Coden has done. But this one was supposed to be a mix of John Carpenter. It said a neo-noir tinged eco-horror miniseries that is Blood Simple meets John Carpenter's The Thing. The Thing is one of my favorite horror movies of all time. I was about to say the requel too, but not really. But I could watch it. But you know, Mary Elizabeth Winstead did her thing. Anyway, yeah, I'm gonna read it just because they put The Thing in there. The Thing is one of my favorite movies of all time. Anything that's a derivative of The Thing is one of my favorite movies of all time. Faculty was a derivative of The Thing, one of my favorite movies of all time. Do with that what you will. But I'm gonna read this joint and I'm gonna tell you how it is, and I think it's gonna be dope. But that will be it for my speculation list. Next we have In the Trades. Okay, In the Trades is very light this week, and good because I ain't got no more money after all the stuff I just talked about. Man, it's somewhere like $70, $80 that I'm already gonna be spending, but nonetheless, the only one I got for this week, I think, is the Cheshire Cat, and Cheshire Cat, it's up here right now. I don't even feel like looking at the title of it right now, but that's the only one that I was interested in. Only because I used to watch Young Justice and I really like Cheshire Cat. Yeah, that's about it. I didn't read this All In. There's a lot of All In stories that are going on right now. DC got it. They beat Marvel ass. What you want me to say? It is what it is. But with that said, I think we're gonna go ahead and conclude this week. We have a lot going on this week, and next week is gonna be this Wonder Woman week. I think, yeah. We ain't gonna look at next week. Next week gonna be next week, and we're gonna talk about it next week. I'm gonna be here next week. I know y'all gonna be here next week. I know I'm gonna be here next week. You should be here next week. In order to be here next week, you better like, subscribe, do all that. I mean, we having great conversation between us. I'm looking right at you, you looking right at me. We're having a great time, but I'm gonna stop rambling. Go ahead and end this video. I am going to be doing reviews. For some reason, I cannot talk in 3-minute segments. So I've been putting a lot of my reviews on my social media channels, but I am going to do a big segment like this where I go over pretty much the books that were in this in another segment where we go over the review. So that will be coming soon. Again, until then, please just like and subscribe. Tell me what y'all liking. Talk to me. Tell me what books y'all getting this week. and get excited for comic books. That's the most important thing about this. But until next time, y'all, it's Westside. I'm out. Peace.